Hello and welcome to another Modswell video. I'm your host Maxwell.
Nice.
This week has marked the ending of an era, with 2 seconds leaving the modding fold. He has done some amazing things over the years for all of us, and changed our games. But in his absence, a ton of other modders are stepping up to fill his boots. This week has shown a real level of class on the scene, and these happen to be the 5 that stood out the most to me. If you think that I've missed out on a gem though, don't hesitate to throw that into the comment section. However, I've gone on for long enough, so let's just get into this. In 5th, I've gone ahead and chosen Lynn's Necromancer Robe's King of Worms. This comes in 2 versions, clean and torn. I imagine you've already worked out the differences between them, but I'm going to show you anyway. These mods serve as replacers for the bland and ugly vanilla Necromancer robes. To me, those have always been a little bit annoying. Thematically, a Necromancer deals with dark and powerful magic, and the outfits given to them in the base game make them just seem like one of the rabble, an average basic NPC, so anything like this that aesthetically fixes that mistake instantly makes your game look so much better. These robes are intricately designed with lace patterns throughout, fitting to the magical qualities of the user. Lind, the author, went through pictures of Mannimarco, the King of Worms, and designed the set based on those pictures. The crimson, black and gold colours were prevalent throughout most images that relate to this. And the spin that Lynn put on these to create the sets isn't just fitting to the style, but it's also incredibly nice to look at. They're an evolution on multiple ideas of how these should have looked in the first place, and by giving us 2 versions with differing conditions, we get to take each of these concepts and use our own ideals alongside them. Both of these sets come in 2K resolution for the hood and robes, but even despite that, the cost has been kept down to a really reasonable 8.4 megabytes for either of the styles, which is really impressive. If you're planning on playing as a Necromancer, these are going to be a top round pick. I've seen a lot of people building orders like that in my Discord, so this mod is for all of you. Moving on to 4th place. Here I've chosen Elsopa's Iron Weapons Redone. These are high quality retextures for each of the iron weapons. This even includes iron arrows, which I'm always happy to see. The designs of these stand out to me above other iron retextures because they don't seek to create overly fancy weapons. Instead, they side with a level of realism where you can almost see the techniques that went into forging them, such as the bubbling on the hilt, which shows the quick change from extreme heat to extreme cold. Overall though, my favourite feature of these weapons is the reshaping, with the swords being thinner and sharp, but the blunt weapons taking a thicker, heavier approach. The Warhammer, for example, I have no doubt would eviscerate a person and crunch through armour. Iron weapons are definitely some of the more seen sets in games, which is only increased by level list edits such as Moraloot, so to get them looking this good results in a really big overall boost to that standard in your game. The quality is no surprise though. Elsopa is known for the level of detail put into every single piece of work. I've been a fan for a long time now, and to see mods like this making their way over to us means that we can step up the look of our games. It's hopefully a sign of more to come as well. Iron Weapons Redone has been ported in 1K, which will set you back 21.5 megabytes, or 2K, which will cost you 70 megabytes. Most of you who watch me know I generally side with 1K textures as they're more performance friendly, and they will allow you to add more into your orders. In this case though, I am using the 2K. However, I did take a peek at the 1K before filming, and I have to say it's definitely the more worthwhile choice for anyone on a budget, as the difference in quality is almost negligible, but that choice is for you to make. Moving on to 3rd place, where I've actually chosen 2 mods. The first of which is Leviathan Animation's 2-handed power attacks, which for those curious has indeed been added to the Leviathan all-in-one pack. These power attacks are completely changing each directional attack when using a 2-handed weapon. They have a tiny learning curve and feel extremely correct. When paired with perks that allow power attacks to hit all enemies in front of you, the forward attack is going to serve you extremely well. This will be used in most orders I make for the foreseeable future, and for only 251.1 kilobytes, it will slot in very easily. The second of these mods is Vanargand Animation's male and female all-in-one. This is what I'd like to call the natural casual answer to Leviathan animations. These are a full set of movement animations for males and females. Included in the pack are idols which run on a 30-second loop and has a very specific neck scratch animation that I actually do when I stand still for too long. A slow walk animation that suits both male and females with a natural and realistic movement style, jogging animations that again side with realism and have some lean and sway with each step, and the sprint animation is extremely similar to the jog and feels weighted with correct lean and sway in each motion. Vanargand has been set up to suit people that are using light armour, clothing or robes. It's a softer movement style than Leviathan, which was set up for heavier armours, so when it comes to building your order you should keep those factors in mind. I love any mod that works specifically around a build and allows us to spec into a style more than usual. These are going to be huge going forward, and likely finding their way into a lot of orders. Seeing as they're only 611 kilobytes, that's actually going to be highly achievable. But then I got to thinking,
I say, it appears my cranium has doubled in size.
As both Leviathan and Vanargand come in male and female separated files as well, you could essentially split movement types for the genders. I'm not saying that we move differently from one another, however having variance or disparity in a game like this could make for extremely pleasing visuals, especially as neither of the mods side with a sultry style. Let's move on to second place. Here I've gone for Dwarven mechanical dragons. I love new spawn mods and anything that shows a high level of creativity, and this excels at both. These brand new spawns are designed to look like the Dwemer automaton answer to dragons, a fearsome metal creature of the sky raining down steam attacks and fireballs. They truly have to be seen to be believed. The author, Grohik, has gone through and selected little Dwemer parts such as gyros, struts and other decorative or lootable objects as well as automatons and pieced them together in the shape of a dragon. Personally, the best touch for me is the wings, which were made from rugs and drape materials found throughout the ruins. Honestly, this might be one of the most impressive puzzles I've ever seen. But beyond the design, the movement, the attacks and difficulty in combat makes this such a fun addition to your game. You'll find these spawns around most Dwemer ruins, and if you'd like to just check one out for yourself, there is a fallen one just outside of Erkenthand. But wait, there is actually more. Should you have the Dwemer smithing perk, you can actually craft a cube that acts similarly to a scroll that allows you to summon one. However, to make these you will have to fell a mecha dragon yourself, as they hold brand new materials in their loot list required for crafting. Each of these new dragons are outside of the standard game level list too, which makes them far more compatible as a whole and keeps their loot intact when it comes to other dragon or Dwemer edits. I really can't recommend these highly enough. If you're playing a Dwemer based character or even a dragon order like the one I'm currently building, then this is going to add so much to your enjoyment. And as this costs a supremely reasonable 16.4 megabytes, you'll be able to slot it in really easily. You'll be hard pressed to find a more fun and inventive spawn mod than this one. Strangely, my favourite vanilla spawn was always the skeletal dragon in Labyrinthian, but this has taken over as my favourite overall spawn, which brings up a fun question. What is your favourite spawn, both modded or vanilla? Leave your answers in the comments below. But with that, let's move on to my favourite mod of the week. This one is going to be a space saver, an immersion machine and a loot list hero. I am of course talking about Equipment Flexibility Project. Have you ever found it strange that bandits wear basically 3 outfits? The guards wear some factory built looking sets, each exactly the same. Have you ever been annoyed that mages aren't set up correctly at all? Or that the Forsworn can apparently only kill stags? Well, this mod has you so covered in so many ways. Let's start with the bandits. In vanilla, bandits literally wore a few sets of armour. They were always matching, and what's more, every camp followed the exact same traditions. Well, this mod changes all of that. It mixes up the armours and weaponry given and opens up each bandit to new types of weaponry, changing their attacks. For example, a chief might now be using a light set of armour and wielding a bow, but you get too close to him or any of their archers. And it won't just be a dagger that they pull, it could be any weapon type. And guards have been given a similar treatment. Every guard in vanilla is just a clone from each other. From town to town, only colours of their gear has changed, and that makes no sense at all. There isn't some factory in Skyrim churning out armours. Guards are more likely to just be skilled citizens who have their own sets. With that in mind, this mod changes guards to be equipped with any of Skyrim's standard weapons and armours. They suit the climate that they're in as well, with wintry spots gaining warmer sets. This also plays into the thematic style given to the holds, with each guard armour being somewhat fitting to their location. When it comes to mages, they can now actually be set up with the right equipment to succeed, such as enchanted pieces to boost their magical prowess. They can also hold books pertinent to their level of skill or even spell tomes in their own class, and bosses can on occasion have different visual effects than in vanilla. And finally the Forsworn, who have had the smallest of changes. They now come complete with multiple helmet variants using assets from different animal skeletons, fitting to the ethos of the Wild Men of the Reach. I'm really enjoying this mod for a few reasons. Thematically, the characters feel more real now, but really, it's the cost that impresses me. This is something of a low-cost Fashions of the 4th Era that even happens to save you on a guard armor replacer. At 37.6 megabytes, this mod is likely saving you over 200 megabytes. And it's not like I'm missing out on those mods with this installed. In fact, I feel like with this, I'm taking better advantage of the retexture mods I'm using, which makes them feel so much more worthwhile. What's great too, is that it's been balanced out for levels, so when you're a lowly character, you won't be able to just steal extra power. The gear given out matches your level really well, and at no point did I feel like the opposing factions were above their station. I highly recommend this mod, but I guess that's why I put it as number 1 for the week. And with that rather obvious little nugget, I am going to call it. To be part of the conversation, come and join us over on the Discord server. You'll find a link to that and all the mods mentioned in the description below. If this has helped, I would as always really appreciate those likes, comments, and of course subscriptions. They help push my work out further with YouTube's algorithm. But either way, thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.